Hey guys, welcome back to BackPocketGameReviews, and today we're gonna recap the Nintendo Direct that literally just happened a few minutes ago. A few minutes ago to when I'm recording, probably not a few minutes ago to when you're viewing this, because I doubt I can get this up that quickly. I'll try. I will try. So there was a lot of news and a lot of stuff that I didn't actually see coming, and I also want to point out, apparently, there was a lot of stuff for the 3DS that was showed off. We're going to talk about 3 of the items for the 3DS, 4 of the items for the 3DS, because I want to point out that I was told by a couple of people that got really upset when I gave away a 2DS. There were some people that were offended by me giving that away. Yeah, you all can go butt chug some bleach. But next, for the 3DS, you can now expect to get Luigi's Mansion, the original remade for the 3DS, which is extremely exciting for me because they did make Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which is the sequel to the original Luigi's Mansion, but it wasn't quite as good as the original Luigi's Mansion, which is my favorite GameCube game of all time, and honestly, probably one of my favorite Nintendo games of all time. So I was very excited to see them remaking that. I will be easily getting that for my son, day of release. Maybe I can get him to be in a video to talk about that game with you guys. I really would like to get him to comment in on some of my videos on some of the older games that he's finally replaying. They also announced for the 3DS Bowser's Inside Story, redone for the 3DS, plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey. I have no idea what Bowser Jr.'s Journey is. I know Bowser's Inside Story it takes place inside of Bowser. It is a Mario and Luigi game. If you've never played those, they are sort of RPG-style, turn-based games. They're actually really well done. The only thing I wonder is Bowser Jr.'s Journey, if that takes place inside, since Bowser's Inside Story is inside Bowser, is Bowser Jr.'s Journey like the birth story of Bowser Jr.? That would answer some really odd questions that I'm sure I'm not the only one who now has from thinking about that. What birthed Bowser Jr.? 'Cause I doubt Mario's very interested in Peach if that came out of there. WarioWare Gold for the 3DS. Supposedly it will have 300 plus micro games, which is a lot of micro games. Even for a WarioWare game, that is a lot of micro games. If you've never played a WarioWare game, it has really, really odd mini games, some of which, for example, if you ever played the one on the Wii, might involve shaving someone's back or spinning a plate on a stick. Just really odd micro games that are actually a lot of fun to play. WarioWare Smooth Moves was one of my favorite ones too for the franchise. DIY wasn't that bad, which is WarioWare Do It Yourself. Yeah, they're pretty good games. You should check out the WarioWare games if you've never played them. Captain Toad is going to kind of transition us here because it is coming out for the Switch and the 3DS, a remaster of Captain Toad, which probably no one asked for. I did hear the Captain Toad game is actually a lot of fun for those people who like puzzle games. I'm not a huge puzzle game fan, and I really don't want to play as a giant mushroom. Unless we're like talking some of the old school Mario games where you can select Toad. Even then, I probably wouldn't have picked him as a character. But, it is what it is, and now you will have the capability of playing Captain Toad wherever you are. Also, they showed off a little more of Kirby Star Allies and some of the different modes that will be available in it. That does come out on the 16th of this month, by the way. So if you are looking to pick up Kirby, we'll talk about that more in my stuff to pick up this month video, which should be going up probably tomorrow. Dark Souls Remastered, which we all knew was already coming to the Switch. However, there will be a network test available for it, which is probably a smart idea, seeing as Nintendo doesn't really have the most stable network. I mean, the Switch is fine with online, it's just there's not a lot of features involved, and I'm sure that the creators of Dark Souls are just ecstatic to get to use the Nintendo chat app. But if you wanted to try it, this will also give you the chance to see what it'll look like on the Switch. And if you were one of the people excited to replay Dark Souls however many times now this will make for you, you can now see what it'll look like before you decide to make your choice to purchase it either on the Switch or on the PlayStation or Xbox, whichever one floats your boat the most. I'm sure Xbox One X and PS4 will probably have 4K enhancements for that particular remaster. Next up, they showed off some Mario Tennis, which was the least exciting thing I could have seen in my life. They showed these lame things called zone shots, where you can now zoom in from like a sniped in angle to pick the zone, and they're charged up shots. So if you do block it, your racket takes damage, and you can only take 3 damage to your racket. And if your racket breaks, then you're forced to forfeit that round, which I literally think is the dumbest thing you could do. How can we make tennis a somewhat suspenseful game less suspenseful? Find the troll who's going to charge shot as much as he can. So, personally, not a big fan of that feature. I hope they have a mode where you can turn it off, but either way, I'm not really that excited to play Mario Tennis, because tennis isn't really my sport either way. Next up, Little Nightmares Complete is coming to the Nintendo Switch. If you haven't played Little Nightmares, it is this crazy, awesome indie horror hide-and-go-seek style game. It is fantastic. You should check it out. It's very dark. It is awesomely well done, and it's probably one of the best indie games I have ever played. And it definitely would be an awesome addition to the Switch. We are going to be talking about a lot of remasters here. The one that shocked me the most, though, South Park: The Fractured But Whole is coming to the Nintendo Switch on April 24th, and all of the DLC will be available that same day, including the new Casa Bonita DLC, which drops here this month on the other consoles. If you haven't played South Park: The Fractured But Whole, or maybe even if Nintendo Switch is your primary console, it is actually an extremely well-made RPG with an incredibly well-done battle system. I mean, it's way more in-depth than what you would expect out of South Park. And it's incredibly well done story-wise, so if you do like South Park, you will probably absolutely love this game. Next up, another one that took me a little off guard. I knew this would eventually be coming, I just didn't really expect it now. But Crash Bandicoot: The Insane Trilogy will also be coming to the Nintendo Switch here this summer. Crash Bandicoot, you know, the person who helped Sony become so dominant. He was like Sony's mascot back in the 90s when Sony was taking on Nintendo, and now he'll be on Nintendo. I mean, don't get me wrong, this isn't as big a blasphemy as like the first time you see Sonic on the Nintendo system, but it is what it is, and now you're gonna have Crash on there as well. It'd be awesome if they could all just like have like a dinner party where it's Mario, Crash, and Sonic all just chatting about the 90s. That would be pretty funny for me. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. If you have not played Hyrule Warriors, it is exactly what I just told you, where it is Dynasty Warriors with Hyrule and Zelda theme. This is the Definitive Edition, so it'll feature all of the DLC and the content that was exclusive to the new 3DS as well. It's really a game that was very overlooked because it only came to the 3DS and the Wii U, and the 3DS version was extremely underpowered compared to the Wii U version, but now you will get the best of both worlds. And it's an awesome game. It's really well done. I'm a decent fan of the Dynasty Warriors series, at least the older style games, but I still think most of you would really enjoy this if you gave it a fair shot. Splatoon 2 3.0 update. This, I really wasn't as exciting as the other part of this, but the 3.0 update will include new apparel and gear just in time for spring, new maps, and the new rank X, which is the highest level rank. So that makes me wonder if the next update will have rank XXX. That's terrible. I'm sure if you Google search Splatoon XXX, you will regret everything that you just... I'm sorry. They will have a new Splatoon expansion as well called Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion, which is a single-player expansion featuring Agent 8, who wakes up in what they worded as a shady warehouse. I'm going to assume Agent 8 is kind of like a play on 007 for James Bond, because, 007. Yeah, but it actually looks pretty well done. If you like Splatoon single player, it looks like this might actually have a little more story to it. No More Heroes is coming for the Switch. If you have not played No More Heroes, this is definitely a good chance. It came out on the Wii. It was probably drastically overlooked because I think it was the only M-rated game, or one of very few M-rated games to come out for the Wii exclusively. I think they did eventually port it over to the PlayStation for you to be able to play with the PlayStation Move, but we all know how well the Move took off for PlayStation 3. It didn't at all. I had one, but I was probably one of the only people. So No More Heroes is really good. You get to play as a guy named Travis Touchdown, and you have this light sword. Just trust me. I said light sword. You should already be interested, and the dude's name is Travis Touchdown. You know what that means? That means testosterone! Yeah! Super Smash Bros. Is also coming to the Switch, and Nintendo definitely trolled the hell out of all of us with that giant reveal of it, because everyone thought it was going to be a new Splatoon trailer. I mean, I kind of did, but the second they started showing it, I just looked over at my son and I go, I bet you it's Super Smash Brothers. And he goes, no, it's not, it's Splatoon 2. And then all of a sudden it zooms out and shows the Smash Brothers logo just like faintly appearing in the ink. And I was like, I told you it's Super Smash Brothers. However, that still leaves a lot of questions. Is this a ported Super Smash Brothers from the Nintendo Wii U, or is this its very own Super Smash Brothers for the Switch that's remade? Obviously now, if they're teasing Splatoon characters, we know Splatoon characters are going to be in Super Smash Brothers, but is it a new Splatoon? Or is it a new Super Smash Brothers? Is this a remaster? Even if it is a remaster from the Wii U one, the Wii U one is arguably one of the best Super Smash Brothers, if not the best Super Smash Brothers to ever be released. And most of the hardcore Super Smash Brothers fans would probably agree with me on that. Again, I'm not upset when they remaster Wii U era games. When Nintendo does it, these are a lot of games that people didn't play because, well, the Wii U didn't really sell well. The Wii U kind of sold about as well as if I started selling jarred farts on my website. Okay? I don't think any of you would buy one of my jarred farts. But maybe if I worded them as jarred Mario farts, they would sell. I would feel kind of bad. I mean, I'm Italian and a plumber, so I'm not really a plumber. Like, it's not a job I have, but I'm kind of an amateur plumber, so I could word them as Mario farts. Huh. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a thumbs up here, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button. I like when you all stick around, and I like when you comment down in those comment sections down below, so let me know what you're most excited for on the Switch, or if you thought this Nintendo Direct was a huge letdown. I'm sure some of you were probably let down by it. But guys, thanks for watching. I have plenty more content coming for you, so stick around.